Teams have some very helpful features that aren't on by default, and I'm going to teach you how to turn those on. So as you're in your Teams window, you're going to want to go to the top near where the minimize and maximize and close buttons are. Click on, mine's a picture, but yours might have your initials there. And then you're going to go to settings, and then your settings will pop up. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit, make sure you can see that. Now, stay on the general tab and you'll see a part that says application. And the option that you want is the one near the bottom that says turn on new meeting experience. New meetings and calls will open in separate windows, requires restarting Teams. So you want to make sure that one has a check mark, okay? Yours won't have it on by default. Click it and the check mark will appear, and then you can just close that out. And then you'll have to close Teams completely and open it again. And then you'll have some new features like your calls opening in a separate window, things are moved around, it's a little easier to use. Now, many of you have seen this already, but if you want to open Schoology while you are in Teams, it is possible to do that. I'm going to show you how. So you want to go to the Teams tab on the left side, and that should have all of your classes. It should have your math, science, social studies, reading and writing. So on all those 4 classes, you should have that link. So I'm just going to click on math. Okay. So when I click on my math team, this is what the screen will pop up. What it looks like. You'll see some links at the top. Yours might look a little bit different as students, but you'll see right now I have an option here that says one more. You want to click that, and that one is actually the one that we're looking for. It's a link to Schoology. So when I click that, it's actually going to take my students right to their math course in Schoology. So now I haven't left Microsoft Teams, but I'm still able to navigate through Schoology and click on the folders just like I would in a regular web browser. And if I need to go back and look at my calendar, I can do that. And then I would have to go back to my Teams, and Schoology is still there. So sometimes when you're working, you have to have more than one window open. It could be Microsoft Teams, and another could be Schoology in your web browser. So I'm going to show you a couple of ways that you can navigate those quickly. The easiest way, I think, is to use what's called alt tabbing. Okay, that's where you hold down the Alt button, which is next to your spacebar on the keyboard. And as you hold down Alt, you press Tab, and you'll see these little mini versions of your windows pop up. Each time you press Tab, you cycle through the different windows. And let's say I want to go to the Schoology one. When it's highlighted, I let go of the Alt button, and it switches to that window. If I do it again, hold down Alt and press Tab, I can switch back to my Microsoft Teams window. So however many windows you have, that works. That's my favorite one. Another way you can do it is to just use your taskbar. So you can go down to the bottom and you can see the icons. So if I'm on Teams right now and I want to go to my web browser, which on my computer is Firefox, I just put my mouse over to the Firefox icon, and then the windows appear because I have more than one. And if I click on it, it appears, and there we are. So now I'm looking at Schoology again, and I could go down and look at Microsoft Teams, click on that, and now I've switched back to Teams. So there's another way. Let's say I have a big screen. Some of you might have a bigger monitor or a desktop monitor instead of a laptop, whatever it may be, and you can actually view 2 windows at the same time. So if I go to the top here, I can grab Microsoft Teams or whatever window you're on. You want to go near the top, okay, and you click it and you can drag it, and actually makes it smaller. And if I move it to the left or the right side, I'm still holding the mouse button down. If I move it to the left, you'll see that little invisible window pop up, and if I let go, it actually makes it that size. Then all my other windows pop up, and I can just click the one I want to fill on the right side. So I'm going to click my Schoology in Firefox. And there you go. Now I have 2 windows side by side. I can use Firefox while I'm still looking at Teams and going to my calendar. And then I can also look here at my Schoology at the same time. So that's another way you can navigate multiple windows at the same time. Let's say you wanted to take something that was already typed and move it somewhere else. You wanted to use it without having to retype it all by yourself. Well, we use something called copy and paste. And this is something that you will use for probably the rest of your life. It's very simple. It's just a couple of keyboard commands. You need to first highlight whatever text you want to to take to copy. So let's say I want to copy these questions. So I'm going to click with my mouse and then drag it over the text that I want. And now it's highlighted blue. And then on my keyboard, I'm going to hit Control, which is in the very bottom left, and then C at the same time. So you can hold down Control and then just press C and then let go of both of the buttons. Now I have copied these words, and now I have to paste it, which means to put it somewhere else, okay? Like gluing it down on another piece of paper. So I'm going to click in the part where I can type, and here I'm going to do almost the exact same thing. I'm going to hold down the Control button in the bottom left, and this time I'm going to hit V. V as in very, like very good, okay? So I'm going to hit V, which is right next to the C, and that will paste everything that I had copied earlier. So now you see the questions are right there, and that's a quick way to move some text around.